in the pre-show, we were talking about what are the two things that coaches commonly say, at least in the past that I've heard, that they shouldn't say.
Yeah. And it's pervasive. It's in every sport that has a moving object. Every ball sport has a coach or a person who says, keep your eye on the ball, right?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that, and this is something Ken DeHart says all the time. He says it means this. That's what the literal translation of keep your eye on the ball means. So, you know, the problem with keep your eye on the ball is that there's no skill involved. There's no when or where. It's just and it's really kind of downright insulting because the people believe that they are keeping their eye on the ball. So when you say keep your eye on the ball, the presumption is that they're not, or they have forgotten that somehow. So keep your eye on the ball actually says almost nothing. It doesn't really teach anything. And we'll get into, what do you do instead? That's going to be really important. And
Okay.
then
And
the other
what
one is
the other one? Yeah. What's the other one?
the other one is watch the ball, right? So watch the ball. And I think that actually watch the ball is the one that's the least specific. Keep your eye on the ball, I think, leads people to want to try to keep pinpoint vision, that makes them want to turn their head. It makes them want to keep the ball in the center of their vision the entire time. And that's actually counterproductive. So what I'm finding is that people who've actually learned how to see the ball pretty well have actually learned it on their own. They learned it outside of those two instructions. But if we can get better at how we instruct people in visual skills, then the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it's before I really got into the visual training field, I would say I had a retention rate in my students of somewhere between 60 and 75%, something along those lines. And, my players improved, steadily if they played a lot. But now my retention rate is way over 90%. And, I only rarely get somebody who won't come back for another lesson. And that's usually because they just have sort of a completely different mindset than I do about how they're going to learn. So they've got their minds 100% made up how they're going to learn. Don't tell me different. So, I wish I could say I had 100% retention, but I don't think anybody will ever have 100% retention just because of personalities. But yeah, keep your eye on the ball, I think, leads to people sort of over focusing, trying to use pinpoint vision of the ball, moving their eyes with the ball. And there are problems with each